Hey guys, I'm just gonna tell you a little story and I hope that it can apply to your life in some way. About 6 years ago, Danielle and I moved to Colorado Springs for a really short time period. For me, it was just 6 months. And it was so interesting because I had way more time on my hands than I've ever had. Honestly, it felt very quarantine-y because I didn't know anybody, so I didn't have anyone to hang out with. And my job, like, I remember 1 week I only worked 17 hours. So you can imagine, I'm trying to fill up my life with things. And you know, the cool thing about that time was that I got to choose exactly what I wanted to do with my time. And so I remember just taking extra time to read the Bible. And I know that sounds like super church kiddie, but it was one of the best things that I could have done because I have this image, and it was when I feel like I fell in love with the Bible. It was so interesting. I remember my iPad that I had out. It was like an iPad 1. It was like the first of the first. I had my iPad out and I was sitting at this tiny little dining room table in a very tiny little townhouse or apartment or whatever you want to call it. And I remember what song was playing. It was so interesting because it was that it's extravagant, it doesn't make sense. And I remember when that song was playing, and I don't even remember what part of the Bible I was reading, but it was like, so now it was 4 years after that. And it was honestly like that time in Colorado Springs was so amazing for so many reasons. But one of the hallmarks of that time for me was this intense love for the Bible that I had never experienced before. And at that time I was 19 or 20. And, oh, I might have been 21. Whatever, doesn't matter. And I remember it was 2 years ago at a youth camp. And it was such an interesting thing for me because it was like 8 a.m. in the morning and nobody else was up. And so I was like reading my Bible and I was just reading it on my phone, and you know, we're in this beautiful landscape, whatever. And then I just kind of like tune into where I am and I listen, and this song is playing, the same song that was playing when I, like, this screenshot image of what I have for me falling in love with the Bible. And it was such a cool thing because it was the exact same song. And I remember just kind of like having this moment with God, like, God, you care about the details. And for some reason, I don't know why, sometimes we forget that God knows every hair on our head. God knows every moment that we've lived before we've lived one moment. And I think in a paraphrase of the Bible, it essentially says, like, God has seen every page of your life before one has been written. And so I know that in this moment, in this time, I think sometimes we forget that God really does care about the little things. He cares about the details. He cares about that friend that you're missing. He cares about that conversation that you had on Instagram. He cares about that person who said something mean about you, or that person who said something nice about you. He cares about all those moments. And I think for us to realize that God is such a detail-oriented person, detail-oriented being, I think it's so good for us to remember that, because what that does is it reminds us that He cares, and He cares intensely. He cares enough to be present for every single second of your life, from the beginning to the end. So I just wanted to remind you of that. This is a great season. This is Easter season. We're leading up into Pentecost, and so we get to celebrate God on so many levels. And I just want to remind you, He's a detail-oriented God. He cares about every part of you, every part of you. And so I just want to let you know that you can come to Him with anything that you have, and He's going to care. Hey guys, I'm going to sing a song about the faithfulness of God, and I hope you like it. Father of kindness, you have poured out grace. You brought me out of darkness, you have filled me with peace. Giver of mercy, you're my help in time of need. And I can't help but sing. Faithful you are, faithful forever you'll be. Faithful you are, all your promises, yes and amen. All your promises are yes and amen. Beautiful Savior, you have brought me here. You pulled me from the ashes, you have broken every curse. Blessed Redeemer, you set this captive free. Lord, I can't help but sing. Oh, faithful you are. Faithful forever you will be. Faithful you are. All your promises are yes and amen. And all your promises are yes and amen. And I will rest in your promises. My confidence is your faithfulness. And I will rest in your promises. My confidence, oh, is your faithfulness.